No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm having a sit down with somebody who has been the talk of the internet for the last few years. I've been following you for a lot longer than that, though, for the record.
Thank you.
Taylor Lorenz in the building. How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
I feel like a lot of people are going to want to ask about the mask right away.
Yeah, I know. I gotta address it. Unfortunately, been very sick, and I have no immune system, like literally. So what's a cold to somebody can put me in the hospital. So I'm not fucking around. Not that I think that you're sick, but
Right. But so you went really, really hard to avoid getting COVID, but then still somehow it snuck through?
No, I wasn't avoiding it. That's the problem. I thought I was safe because I had other friends that had gotten COVID many times, and I was like, oh, whatever, it's not a huge deal. I got COVID outside, and yeah, it f***ed me up really, really badly, and now my immune system's like completely shot. So
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I definitely feel like I still feel the effects in some way of getting it a couple years ago. Like it just doesn't, I don't know. I never felt like I really got back to 100%.
it's not good. I wish that the government would like invest in some shit. I sound insane saying this, but I really think like AI needs to I'm like, can't we get AI to like come up with some sort of cure that actually
Maybe like a COVID NFT. I feel okay. So this is just fresh on my mind, but I was listening to a podcast this morning with this poker player who's like a top level poker player, but wears the mask and is like completely has never been seen in public without it. And he's been getting a lot of shit from the poker community, certain people in it, for probably like just wearing the mask to obscure his facial features so that people can't pick up reads on him or whatever. So I say that just to say, are there any like elements of wearing the mask still that you appreciate? Does it help give you the poker face as a journalist or something?
I was literally just thinking of that recently because I had to do an in-person interview, and I was like, it definitely keeps people from maybe seeing like my goofy smile, but I don't know. I mean, people are really weird about it because it's gotten really politicized. So like, it's more just like people being like weird about it. I'm a huge believer in personal liberty. I'm like, I'm wearing my mask. It doesn't affect you. Like, let me live.
It looks like a meme waiting to happen, but I think we both can look forward to that, right? No, but there was a girl who worked at this, I'm not even going to describe it, but like a business that I was frequenting, and I saw her for like 2 years with the mask on and totally had like an amount of attraction towards her that promptly dissipated the moment that I saw her without the mask.
Oh, yeah.
And that really kind of me up because that made me think like, what even is it to be attracted to someone if this tiny sliver of how their nose and mouth are proportionate to each other was enough to completely change the way that I felt inherently on a real biological level.
That's like a whole meme in China. Like there was this like whole thing. I follow this like TikToker that just like talks about memes in China, and they were saying it's this thing. Actually, it's more for men, like men trying to look hotter because like a lot of men, maybe they don't have the jawline they want or whatever, so they've got the mask. I personally think I look best, without the mask, but
okay.
It works,
Right. I mean, I haven't seen you without the mask in real life, so I'm just gonna have to go with this. But yeah. I mean, how has that been? I feel like you've kind of become like an easy stand-in for like long COVID obsession on Twitter and stuff. Like a lot of people on the right kind of use you as a stand-in for everyone who kind of falls into that category. Does that bother you, or is that just kind of part of doing the job at this point?
No, it doesn't bother me. My feeling about Twitter is like, I mean, so after Elon banned me for reporting on him, I got back my accounts on all these like restrictions basically. So like people can't find me, like my reach is all fucked up. I lose access to features sometimes.
Oh, so you're like a porn star. That's what all the porn stars have to deal with. That's crazy.
It's crazy. So like, anyway, I just was like, you know what? COVID is this issue that I really care about. I've lost many friends to COVID. I've lost loved ones to COVID. Like, it's a real fucking problem. Neither political party seems to give a shit about fixing it. Personally, I think getting disease is bad, and I'm going to post about it. Like long COVID is real. It fucks people up. Like, I don't think that should be a political issue. And also, I'm a big believer in workers' rights and sort of labor organizing and stuff. And I have a lot of friends and family members that work in the service industry, that work in, more blue collar jobs, and they're being forced to work when they're sick. They can't even have like days off to rest. Now we have the president sort of like, forcing people back to work. So yeah, I don't like that.
The poker player that I was referring to, he was just mentioning that people still call him a sheep for wearing the mask,
which
is so funny, right?
It's
because nobody does it anymore, right?
Yeah, but they always say like that. I mean, that's just like nothing is more of a sheep comment than calling someone a sheep. Like at that point, it's like Listen to yourself. Listen to what you're saying. You sound like an idiot.
It's not a detailed enough critique.
Yeah. Also, it's like you said, like literally everyone else doesn't wear it anymore.
Right.
So
it's the opposite of being a sheep to wear it now. It actually shows like an extreme level of dedication that most people couldn't dream of.
Totally. Also, it's like, why don't we have clean water now that we know that the air is full of diseases and shit? Why don't we have clean air? We already have ventilation standards. All we have to do is upgrade ventilation. I'd love just if the government could get their shit together, give us clean air. Like other countries have that, you know?
Right.
But whatever. In the meantime, I've got my mask, so.
I respect it. I mean, just being in the airport recently and just seeing all these old people rocking it and like realizing that they're not double masked for no reason. Like they're clearly the most concerned about this. And then also having a kid now, is she's just like going to school and just getting colds and just bringing it back home left and right. And I'm like a person who never really got sick that much. And definitely there's been like a uptick in how often me and my girl get sick just because of my kid now.
It's crazy. I mean, kids are just like little vectors of disease, but the airports are so disgusting. And I was thinking, I was back in New York last summer on the subway, and I used to ride to work every day in this like packed, disgusting subway where people are coughing in your mouth. And I was just like, I will never, even if COVID disappeared tomorrow, I'd wear a mask on the subway. It's just gross.
Yeah, I don't think that's too crazy.